get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. We got Joe Rogan just warming my heart with the way he's talking, man. Going from, I don't want to help this Trump guy, to now in this clip that I'm going to show you, he's talking like me. That's what you're seeing Joe Rogan do his best impression of Coach Colin. It's wonderful to see. I kept the faith, and he did not disappoint. I'm going to be showing you this clip where Joe Rogan talks about, in his words, the biggest psyop that's ever happened, which is how Trump is treated in the media, how he's depicted. I love it. I'm going to be showing you that clip. Then I'm going to show you a bunch of clips that are breaking down exactly what Joe's talking about. I'm going to show him denouncing white supremacy while also being called a racist. I'm going to show you a list of things that he's had to fight against. The list is long, just a whole bunch of stuff. Let's get right into it. Start off with the Joe Rogan.
Yeah, something. Yeah. Now, whether or not there was actually human beings.
Dragons, possibly.
But what is it, the Dogon tribe? Is it the Dogon tribe? Dragons, maybe. I believe in both aliens and dragons. How about that?
There you go, Joy.
And I also believe in Joy Behar.
Hey, Joy Behar.
Joy Behar is a comedian.
Yeah.
Joy Behar is a comedian.
Was.
But even I'll give it to you if you were. Like, we're in the same tribe.
True.
Like, I don't hate that lady. I know she's lost, but they're all lost on that show. Imagine being on that show. You got an audience in front of you. You have 7-minute segments. You got a bunch of producers. You're on ABC News. Like, shut the fuck up. That show sucks. You're not going to make it any better, you know? But she's just a lady. She's a lady trapped in her own biology. She's trapped in her own age. Trapped in the time she lives in. She's on a show where her and Whoopi Goldberg are the matriarchs. Like, it's chaos.
Yeah.
The whole thing's nuts.
It is nutty.
It's nuts. They need Barbara Walters to come back from the grave and start running that thing correctly. And if you watch when Trump went on, this is the crazy thing. We can play this
Trump
now.
on The View?
I sent this to the group
We can play
chat.
this now. Let's play
Trump
this now.
on The View during this?
I would not. No.
Years ago when they blew
him. No, they blew him. When Trump was here, I wanted to open up the show. This is my thought when I had him on. And I talked about it, but I didn't have that clip because I didn't want him to copyright flag it.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to copyright flag it because it's so crazy. I'm like, this conversation I'm having with him is so important. I just like, let's just reference it. Let's just reference it. So the video is from like 2012. It's like before he even runs for president. He goes on The View and they go, our friend Donald Trump. And the whole audience cheers. Watch this. You've never seen this?
No.
Watch this.
What? I sent it to the group
Because
chat.
he was a big... Well, Mark, I ignore a lot of your stuff.
I understand.
I get it.
Where's the lighter?
The lighter's right here.
Well, Barbara Wawa.
Welcome, my friend, Donald Trump.
They don't want to show that he was their friend.
2011. Well, it looks the same.
Look at the
Same.
cheers. Look at the cheers.
Yeah, he had a board game.
Standing ovation.
He had a board game.
Standing ovation. Look at this.
Sherry Shepherd.
Hey, there she is.
Look at this. Hugs.
Shepherd's
Joy Behar.
pie.
Joy Behar. Big hug and a
She
kiss.
says my friend.
Look at that.
Said that
Barbara
earlier.
Walters, Whoopi Goldberg, big hug and a kiss. They just hugged Hitler.
Who's the one hot chick?
Yeah, right.
Elizabeth Hasselbeck from Survivor. She was a Republican.
Married to a quarterback.
Quarterback and Hasselbeck.
Look at this. I mean, this was amazing. They loved him. They sat down with him. They talked to him about how he's progressive and liberal when it comes to social issues, but economically conservative. And you might be a great president. Are you going to run? And he was talking about it. And look how they're all
seems to
loving
not
him.
be having it from the jump, though.
Who cares?
Is she still being a...
She's barely alive. Look at Joy Behar. Look at Joy Behar right next to her, all huggy kissy.
Dude, Trump holds it down. Dude.
Look at that.
They're all
over
hanging on
him.
his every word. They're all hanging out with him. They're happy to be there with him.
You ever seen him on Oprah?
Oh, yeah, it's amazing.
He killed it.
Oprah was also asking him to run for president. The whole thing is nuts.
That is smooth. He
Way
does a
back in
great-
the day. Okay, find out when go to Oprah asking Trump if he's going to run for president. What we saw is the greatest media psyop in history.
Wow.
Did he say grab him by the... Of course he did. Guess who else did? A lot of those people. Especially back in those days, back in the days before the internet, people said wild...
I gotta be honest.
I say
grab by the
fondle him
pussy.
room
I'm listening
style.
to that thing. It was a normal... He was like, I'm rich, so girls let me do stuff.
I'm famous.
I
That's what
don't
he's saying.
understand the...
Even Chappelle had a joke about that. He goes, you left out the second part. And you intentionally left out the second part. He goes, and they let me, which implies consent.
That's exactly it.
So you're leaving out where they gave me consent to make it seem like
Also,
they
he
didn't
was
give me
being
consent.
funny.
Right, that's
I think he was
the-
really just grabbing people by the. It's a funny thing to say.
Who does that?
It's a ridiculous thing to say.
Hard thing
up.
to grab. It's like negative space.
It's negative space.
Yeah,
you really got to
remember
get
the
two
first
fingers
time-
in like a bowler.
Remember the first time
could
you tried to grab it?
You
Yeah.
could grab
When
it.
you were a young man, you
Nothing
go,
there.
wait, I
Well,
thought
tell
this-
that to
I thought it
girls
was
at
gonna be
bars.
where my dick was.
Tell it to
Yeah,
girls
it's
at bars.
on the front.
way
It's
lower.
It's
Way
way
lower.
lower.
Try belly button.
We're
Women have
talking
never
about children
they've never
grabbing
seen
it.
their own
But
vagina.
tell it to guys at bars. Girls at bars get grabbed all the time. There's a lot of scumbags
Yeah,
out there.
not
That's
up,
just
you know.
pussy. That's 100%. I've talked to girls who've had their grabbed by some douchebag who's drunk at a bar.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Grab
Definitely.
it. Grab a hold of it. Yeah.
It's at Hooters.
Yeah.
You go, all right, pay-per-view's over. Come here.
Grab.
I'm getting
Touch.
kicked out, and I'm getting kicked out.
The point is,
Oh, because I like the Raiders?
see, watch this. This is,
Look at him. He's
I don't
cool
even know
and
if this is
calm
the
and
right one.
collected.
This is from 1988.
yeah, that's it. Play it.
Okay.
They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. And hey, I have tremendous respect for the Japanese people. I mean, you can respect somebody that's beating the hell out of you, but they are beating the hell out of this country. Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not
don't know about
paying.
that.
We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us
Yeah, I don't know.
25%?
This is before we invaded.
It's a joke.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me, and I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Probably not. But I do get tired of seeing the country ripped off.
Why would you not?
I just don't think I really have the inclination to do it. I love what I'm doing. I really like it.
Also,
I-
it doesn't pay as well.
No, it doesn't. But, you know, I just probably wouldn't do it, Oprah. I probably
Probably.
wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country. And if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally because I really am tired of seeing what's happening with this country, how we're really making other people live like kings and we're not.
What do you think of this year's presidential race?
Good enough.
Who was
Good
88?
enough.
Dukakis.
Bush.
Bush Dukakis.
Yeah. So
Wow.
this
Pulled
is
that out of my ass.
what you're seeing with Trump,
Bush
regardless
won.
of his
Yeah.
flaws. What you're seeing with Trump, regardless of flaws, is a massive, concentrated psyop. They've distorted who he is to the point where most people think that way. Most people think that way. They've had narratives.
What is a psyop? I keep hearing that.
Psychological operation where
Whoa.
they've decided to distort people's
The reality
perceptions
of it.
of things.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you tell like an older liberal that like the Obama deportations were higher than the Trump deportations, they go, no, what? No. And you go, no, let me just Google deportations
Right,
Obama
right.
versus Trump, and you go, it's lower. They go, wait, what? Like, here's 19 straight articles saying that I'm right.
Yeah.
And they go, that doesn't make sense. And you go, right. Focus on what's giving you
Hold
the
on.
reality of the world.
Check this out. Jamie, go to that Hillary Clinton thing that I texted you today.
JMO.
This one is wild. This
What is
is
it?
Hillary Clinton in like 2008. And Hillary Clinton saying some wild MAGA type about
Oh, she used to say the
About-
wildest.
wildest shit about illegal immigrants.
Wasn't she?
Hold on. Go.
What?
Tell people to come out of the
Back from the
shadows
beginning.
if they-
Do it from the beginning. It's okay. Do it from the beginning. But want
I
to hear
think we
it.
got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If
She's a Republican.
they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes. And you have to try to learn English.
Ooh.
And you have to wait in line.
Anyone
You
else
have to
hard?
wait in line. You have to wait in line. And everybody's cheering.
So,
2008. Hillary Clinton was more MAGA than Trump.
She's always been a
Damn.
Republican.
But how about that?
Wow.
More MAGA than Trump.
And then
it's
you
all
couldn't believe that.
fucking
The news.
illusion. It's all a fucking illusion. All of them, when convenient, have said the exact same things.
Dragons
And
are
then they're
real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
they really
crazy.
have,
It's
yeah.
crazy. They give you a false sense of reality, and you just got to shut them both off.
Because they had control of the media up until now. This election was the first time they didn't really have control of the media anymore.
Because what?
'Cause of us.
Non-mainstream media.
Because
Yeah.
of podcasts.
Podcasts. Selling tickets.
Because of
I love
social
people
media.
like
Because
you're
of X.
humanizing Trump. Like, well, he's a human.
Yeah.
So why can't I? I
Well,
invited the
they're
other
trapped.
lady on.
They've been caught up in all this shit that they've shoved down everybody's throat, especially all the Russia shit.
Do you think the campaign people for Kamala Harris was going, we should have let her go on Rogan?
Definitely.
Or they
Some
go,
people
that was
maybe.
a no-win.
Some people maybe. It would have been a win. I would have been nicer.
You would have been nice.
I told her I would talk about anything. They didn't want to talk about marijuana legalization, and they didn't want to talk about internet
She should've
censorship.
smoked.
But then they changed their mind about the internet censorship. And then they contacted and said they want to talk about internet censorship. We had like no bull. At least I didn't have any of them, but there was at least 3 calls. There was like multiple emails back and forth, and there was dates proposed. This idea that they passed on it because the progressive people, look, I'm sure the progressive people didn't want her to do it. I'm sure there's people that didn't want her to do it, but they were trying to schedule it. This is not a thing that was like they had resistance to it. They contacted me. They contacted me when they found out when Trump's camp leaked that he was coming on. They contacted me and they wanted to come on. They had contacted me before and were inquiring about coming on. Once Trump said he was coming on, then they wanted to come on. They wanted me to do an hour and they wanted me to travel to them.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But like, it's like
Elon said it best. He
it.
said those last 2 hours are where you really find out what's going on. Like you can people for 40 minutes.
You get them comfortable.
If I'm talking to you for 3 hours, we're going to talk about some real shit.
That's when that funnel comes out.
Let's protect our parks.
Let's protect our parks.
First hour.
I hate.
Man, Joe Rogan and friends just sticking up for Trump. Man, I love to see it. You know, he sounds like me. Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner, random conversations with people who don't realize I'm a Trump supporter. It was so good. And that's exactly what's been going on the whole time. This massive coordinated effort. And you know what's funny, you know, because they brought up Kamala at the end there. But when you think about Kamala Harris, she was exactly like Trump, but the opposite. That doesn't even make sense. But she was in the same, you know what I mean? In terms of the media was doing with her in a positive light what they've been doing with Trump in a negative light. You know, just nothing true. Just, yeah, you know, she's great. Cultural phenomenon. What? She's just some lady. She's like, hi, I've been here, but I haven't done anything. And they're like, check this out. Look at that skin color. Am I right? Whoa. Cultural phenomenon. Jeez. It was the weirdest thing. And then with Trump will be like, I disavow all racists. And they're like, check out this racist, huh? And you're like, what? And then there's a whole section of people who are like, yeah, racist, culture phenomenon, seasoned prosecutor, felon. Oh my gosh. I love it, man, because we all know where Joe Rogan was before. This made me sad, but this is where he was before.
By the way, I'm not a Trump supporter in any way, shape, or form. I've had the opportunity to have him on my show more than once. I've said no every time. I don't want to help him. I'm not interested in helping him.
The night is still young. We'll see.
If I have him on, the night is still young?
Yeah.
You think I'll have him on?
I think you'll have him on.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you think that? Because you'll have Putin on?
And you're competitive as no. I think ultimately, I mean, you've had a lot of people that I think you may otherwise be skeptical. Would I have a good conversation? Which I think is your metric. You don't care about politics, so can I have a good conversation? And I think you had like people like Kanye on, for example, and you had a great conversation with him. I think I think
but Kanye is an artist. Like, but Kanye doing well or not doing well doesn't change the course of our country.
Yeah, but do you really bear the responsibility of the course of our country based on a conversation?
I think you can revitalize and rehabilitate someone's image in a way that is pretty shocking.
And that's what he did. Oh, thank God he decided to step up. Man, because for the longest time, you guys know, I make videos all the time. Here's something amazing Joe Rogan said about Trump. And I have at least 120 videos of just that. Joe Rogan saying great things about Trump, bad things about Biden, bad things about Kamala. More, hundreds. And then every time in the comments, somebody's like, Joe Rogan, he already said he doesn't want to help Trump. And they say it like he said it last week. And I'm like, that was 2 years ago. I'm like, it's changed now. It's different things now. Oh, finally, man. Finally. Let's get into some other stuff here. Here's somebody calling Trump racist in the most odd way.
The Trump campaign wants to have, even though they're doing so with lies, dangerous lies. And certainly Donald Trump's campaign's most headline-grabbing decision yesterday morning was Trump's move in all caps to tweet, "I hate Taylor Swift," with an exclamation point. And certainly that could have some blowback, particularly with some young voters. But J.D. Vance doubling and tripling down, guys, going on multiple Sunday morning shows to sort of to spout this lie, to sort of at one moment even acknowledge that they're lying, they're exaggerating what's happening here. But they think this is something they want to do, even though, as the Rev said earlier, there have been schools that have had to close there. City Hall has had to be evacuated twice because of bomb threats. Local colleges there this week announced they're going to have classes remotely because they don't feel like they can keep these places safe. And when Donald Trump was asked on Friday at his news conference in Los Angeles, he was asked if he would denounce the bomb threats that were starting to roll in on Springfield, Ohio. He simply didn't. He chose not to. He wouldn't talk about it.
Wait. Jonathan, are you saying that Donald Trump would not denounce the bomb threats in Springfield?
He did not. He would not say those words. He simply moved on to focus again on what he claimed was the problem, these migrants being there, and he touted his deportation plan instead, saying we would get them out of there, and said we'd send them back to Venezuela, when, of course, there are no, these are earlier in the week talking about Haitian immigrants. It's all been racist. The rhetoric is there. And as further evidence as to how they're not backing down from this, campaign sources tell me and others that Trump is actually weighing a visit to Springfield in the next week or two.
This is amazing. Like, this guy would talk to Trump's campaign. So funny. He said they'd send them to Venezuela and they're all Haitian. So, it's all been racist. What? He just we asked him to denounce bomb threats. He has to denounce bomb threats? What? Why do you have to denounce do you denounce the bomb threats? Yeah, because people would blow up. Like, he wants people to stop dying when it comes to Russia and Ukraine. And they're like, well, you didn't say Ukraine should win, so you're a Nazi and you're a dictator. And now, all of a sudden, there's bomb threats. Like, do you denounce the bomb threats? Like, what? Do you denounce people dying? Do you have to denounce that? Yes, you have to. You're Donald Trump. You have to denounce people dying. And, when it comes to him being racist, this is from 2020. You're going to see this date. You're going to see this date in the corner change all sorts. Donald Trump has to be a terrible racist. I mean, if he is a racist, if he's a white supremacist, then they are definitely revoking his card. If there's a card for whites, I know there's a black card. If there's a white card, or white supremacist card, they're definitely revoking his because he's not good at it at all.
Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups?
Sure. You've got David Duke just joined, a bigot, a racist, a problem.
Would you repudiate David Duke?
Sure.
David Duke and robocalls are out again, the white supremacist movement supporting you. Do you have any words for that?
Well, I disavow. David Duke endorsed me? Okay. All right. I disavow. Okay?
When we looked at it and looked at the question, I disavowed David Duke. So I've disavowed David Duke all weekend long on Facebook, on Twitter, and obviously it's never enough.
Trump's refusal to condemn, distance himself from white supremacists.
The Anti-Defamation League is already out there asking the president to clarify why he didn't condemn white supremacists.
So are you prepared right now to make a clear and unequivocal statement renouncing the support of all white supremacists?
Of course I am. Of course I am.
When Chris joined, we had a news conference, and they asked me the exact same question. I said, I disavow. I disavowed then. I disavowed today on ABC with George Stephanopoulos. I disavowed again.
David Duke is a bad person who I disavowed on numerous occasions over the years.
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it. I totally disavow the Ku Klux Klan. I totally disavow David Duke. Ultimately, he got to the Ku Klux Klan, which obviously I'm going to disavow. I've rejected David Duke. I've rejected the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan.
David Duke is saying to his supporters and followers, vote for Donald Trump. White supremacists are saying, vote. Do you want those votes?
No, I don't want them, and I don't want him to say it.
And you don't want the supporters?
No, I don't want anything.
What do you think of white supremacists, by the way?
I don't like any group of hate.
David Duke announced his Senate candidacy, claiming your agenda.
Are you ready before you ask the question?
Newt Gingrich said every Republican should repudiate this guy no matter what it takes.
And I do. Rebuked. Is that okay? Rebuked.
Rebuked.
Done.
Just to clear it up this morning, can you, naming it, make a declarative statement that you denounce, that the president denounces it?
Racism is evil. and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists.
Do you want white supremacists to vote for you?
No, I don't at all. Not at all.
His campaign is denouncing a show of support from the KKK's official newspaper, as in the Ku Klux Klan.
In the same New York Times interview, he denounced white supremacists. He denounced the neo-Nazis who support him.
President Donald Trump signed a congressional joint resolution that condemns white supremacy, neo-Nazis, and other hate groups.
When he was asked to condemn white supremacists, he didn't.
And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
When specifically asked if he would denounce white supremacists, that the president dodged it.
I spoke out forcefully against hatred, bigotry, and violence, and strongly condemned the neo-Nazis, the white supremacists, and the KKK.
Well, I have to say that it's disappointing that a sitting U.S. president can't outright condemn white supremacy.
In one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy.
The President of the United States, in the year of our Lord 2020, refuses to condemn white supremacists.
Any group of hate, I don't like it. Any group of hate, I am, whether it's white supremacy, whether it's any other kind of supremacy, whether it's Antifa, whether it's any group of hate, I am very concerned about it, and I'll do something about it.
He has yet once to condemn white supremacy, the neo-Nazis. He hasn't condemned a darn thing.
Absolutely crazy. Wow. That was incredible. That was almost 4 minutes of him just, and literally 3 years later, they're like, he's never condemned white supremacy. And then it kind of makes sense why some people are like, yeah, he's racist, right? Because they just hear the Kamala Harris part, the Biden part, the Jake Tapper part. They just hear that and they go, wow, he hasn't condemned it yet. And everybody just conveniently forgets the times where he was condemning it over and over and over again. But again, to what Joe was saying, that's what the media did. They got together and they just, I say it all the time, they mold reality. They're not bringing you news. They're just saying, we're going to mold your reality. It's 4 years later. We know that he's condemned white supremacy and all sorts of racism and everything and hate. We know he's condemned it. But you know what? Let's just pretend he hasn't. And let's just paint that picture for people. It's incredible. It's incredible to see. Absolutely incredible. More towards what Joe Rogan was saying. Oh, the lovely lady. Oh, gosh.
Costa and April Ryan, who was here yesterday. He attacked the two of them. Watch him.
I think Jim Acosta is a very unprofessional man. I think he does this with everybody. He gets paid to do that. He gets paid to burst in. He's a very unprofessional guy. Same thing with April Ryan. I watch her get up. I mean, you talk about somebody that's a loser. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing. She gets publicity, and then she gets a pay raise, or she gets a contract with, I think, CNN. But she's very nasty.
Why is he picking on April Ryan? With Jim Acosta, we know he's had it over here for him for a while. But April Ryan, what has she done to him?
He has a problem with anyone that will challenge him, much like many dictators have that problem. He doesn't want you to believe your eyes. Right. That's what the problem is. I have to tell you, when I watch, and for this president to call anyone unprofessional is really rich. Really rich. I know. But I think, what is striking to me is that I feel complete disgust when I hear him speak because of the way he comports himself.
She should have to read a legal note. That's what she should have to do right now. I hope they start doing it retroactive. They go all the way back, everything she says, and she just has to read legal notes. Just one full episode of just her reading legal notes over and over and over again in tears because she can't handle having to take accountability for all the nonsense that she's spewed throughout the years. I can't wait. I really hope that happens. That would just top off 2024 like nothing. Like nothing we've ever seen before. But it's just funny. You see, like he doesn't like somebody. He's talking a little smack about somebody. He doesn't like them. he's like a dictator. Just like, he goes to Madison Square Garden. Oh, well, Nazis have been there. So that's why he's doing that. Nazis have been there. That's what that is, It's the exact same thing. He doesn't like a person, he's a dictator. That's what dictators do, Has a shot of vodka. Trump doesn't drink, obviously, but has a shot of vodka. Well, who else does that? Vladimir Putin does that. Well, jeez, look at him. Well, put on shoes, did he? Well, who used to do that a whole lot? Fidel Castro. Again, it's just a whole bunch of nonsense. But you gotta love X. Somebody comes on X and they just show exactly what Trump's been going through. You've often heard the legacy media accuse Trump of being a threat to democracy. Now give all the ways that the Democrats have actually attacked Trump. Russia hoax, Bernie sabotage at 2016 DNC, Mueller investigation, Ukraine hoax impeachment to protect Biden, Hunter Biden laptop, Capitol Police, FBI allowing J6 rioters to disrupt the actual election objections, impeaching Trump for J6, partisan anti-Trump J6 committee, unlawful appointment of Jack Smith as special counsel. Man, can't wait to see what happens to Jack Smith. Those cases are going away, right? Illegal FBI raid of Mar-a-Lago, Biden DOJ collusion in Manhattan, DA case, Judge Argonne allowing sham 34 felony convictions, Fulton County DA with bogus RICO case, White House J6 committee collusion and RICO case, Colorado, Maine trying to remove Trump from ballot, allowing 11 million illegals into the country, opposing the SAFE Act voter ID to stop illegal votes, fighting efforts at election integrity, such as stopping mass mail-in ballots, etc., extreme rhetoric about Trump, of course, but then, another post even showed what he had to fight against, fought by. The legacy media, 85% negative coverage. The deep state, Hollywood, nearly every Hollywood celebrity, every major celebrity, over $1 billion in fundraising for Harris, European governments, lunatics actually trying to take his life. Absolutely crazy. And through it all, this guy was fighting like crazy. And again, to what Joe Rogan said, this has just been a massive, massive, massive coordinated effort against Donald Trump. And he has persevered. Crazy enough, everything I just named, he has persevered through. It's beautiful to see that the fact that Trump is able to do that and the fact that Rogan has come around the way he has, beautiful. Absolutely amazing. I don't need anything for Christmas. Forget it. Don't send me anything. I don't need it. I got those two things because it was looking bleak with Rogan. I kept the faith. I made the episodes. I'm like, I'm not from episode 2000. I was like, he's gonna interview Trump, and then he interviews Duncan Trussell, and I'm like, oh God, what's happening? It was looking dark. Oh man, it was looking dark. But he came through. We came through. We did it, guys. Anyways, guys, just wanted to make that episode really quick. Tell me what you think about that video. I mean, I know it's all about the Rogan clips and, the talk that we have, but that one clip of him just denouncing white supremacy and then them just saying that he never did it. It's just so 1984. It's mind-boggling. Tell me what you guys thought of that clip. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, helps us tremendously. And other than that, I'm out.